Is there any objection to that course of action being followed? There is none. The Honourable Marianne Street.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House note that the global illicit trade in arms contributes to unlawful armed violence, violations of international human rights law and international humanitarian law, and hampers socio-economic development. Recognise the need for those consequences to be addressed by a legally binding United Nations Arms Trade Treaty with robust and comprehensive scope, criteria and implementation provisions, and reaffirm the commitment of New Zealand to the negotiation of such a treaty in July this year.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. The Honourable Gerry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to acknowledge that the House has sat this morning in extended hours to complete business that was required, that required the attention of the House before the end of this month, and to simply say I think it's a very good use of provisions under the new standing orders, and thank members for their willingness to participate in those debates.
Thank the Honourable Member, the Honourable Leader of the House. Are there any petitions? There are no petitions. Are there any papers? I hereby present the report of the Controller and Auditor General entitled Realising Benefits from 6 Public Sector Technology Projects. Are there any select committee reports?
Report of the Justice and Electoral Committee on the Victims of Crime Reform Bill.
That bill is set down for second reading. Are there any bills for introduction? There are no bills for introduction. The House then comes to questions for oral answer. Point of order, Andrew Williams.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Last evening in this House, at the conclusion of the party vote on the mixed ownership model bill, I raised a point of order under Standing Order 141, seeking a personal vote on the bill. This was ruled out by Deputy Speaker Eric Roy. Standing Order 141 states that a member can ask for a personal vote if the party vote is very close and it could make a material difference. The 61-60 party vote could not have been any closer, Mr. Speaker. A personal vote may well have made a material difference to the result of this House, as this House had not heard from some members and had also not heard from some parties. Mr. Speaker, I would seek guidance from you as to what can trigger Standing Order 141 and ask what written advice do you have when this standing order may be applied.
I'll hear the Honourable Leader of the House.
Mr. Speaker, the member refers directly to the written content of the standing orders, but would need also to read into or alongside that standing orders that relate to party votes and the position that whips are in, some position of privilege I might add, to be able to cast party votes appropriately at the time. In order for there to be a personal vote called on a vote that was otherwise a party vote, regardless of the close nature of that debate, of that vote, there would also need to be some evidence that the whip did not hold the proxies and did not have the full authority to cast all of the votes that were cast by the whip. And the 16 years that we've had MMP, that has been a well understood convention that's developed over that period of time. So while it is true to say that 60-61 is very close, in fact couldn't be closer as the member put it, the reality is that unless there was some evidence presented to the Speaker that said that was indicating that there was reason to believe that the whip was inappropriately casting a vote one way or the other, then the convention would be that the party vote stands.
Well, I'll hear the senior opposition whip briefly.
I'll be very brief, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Brownlee's comments are quite correct in that for a whip to cast a full complement of party votes on behalf of their party, they must have 75% of their members present within the parliamentary complex. And the only way that that can be tested is by way of a personal vote. There's very few instances where that has been tried, and the most recent time and the only time in the duration of this Parliament was an unexpected conscience vote on a gambling bill that was held recently. And in that case, the National Party members, 20 of them were absent, did not come to the chamber to vote for that, which is more than 75%. More than 25% of their members were not present for that vote. So I don't think it's unreasonable where there is a case where it's a one-vote majority for that to be able to be tested.
I thank honourable members for their contribution. Andrew Williams, in raising his point of order, referred to Standing Order 141, which is the relevant standing order. But I would also draw his attention to Speaker's ruling 69.6, where Speaker Kidd has previously ruled that closeness on a party vote is not enough of itself for a personal vote unless there is something that might make a material difference. This might arise, for example, out of some elements of confusion. And I think where we see a pattern that is not unexpected in a vote like that, the closeness of itself is not sufficient for the Speaker to to allow a personal vote. And obviously the Speaker and the Chair at the time had the absolute right and ruled in accordance with both the standing order and the previous Speaker's rulings on the matter. There would need to be some evidence of something unusual for a personal vote to be called. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, I think that, and I'm not asking you to rule on it now, but I think a related point and something which could cause confusion was raised by my colleague, the senior opposition whip, and that is doubt which has now been cast as to presence of members in the precincts. And we've now had some evidence of that. And Sir, there's a question for the National Party whips. Not only do they have the proxies, but are they exercising more proxies than they're entitled to?
Look, I do not want this point of order to go down this track at all. I think the innuendo being cast now is most unfortunate. I think the point of order was raised in good faith. This is an issue that is votes cannot be closer than that, but the matter has arisen before, and the Speaker has previously ruled very clearly that, just as I read the Speaker's ruling 69.6 to the House just a moment ago, closeness on a party vote is not enough, and there would have to be some unusual circumstances to warrant the Speaker ruling that a personal vote be held on a matter. If there was some, for example, if there was some confusion about the result, there was no... I wasn't in the chair. The Speaker, though, has certainly ruled in accordance with both the standing order and the existing Speaker's ruling. The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Mr Speaker, New Zealand First was the party that called the personal vote last time, and there was an outcome which I don't wish to discuss, other than to say that if you have, and not to specify this exact circumstance, but if you had party A, B and C in combination, and A turns up and B and C do not, and A has exhausted its proxies, what is the situation then? And I think you can have legitimate concerns correctly raised without doubting anybody else's integrity when that circumstance happened, as it did the other night, because people were not here. I'm not raising that. I'm saying one of the party A or B or C, one of them was not here, and the question becomes, well, where are they, and is the proxy being correctly exercised, given that the major party, may have exhausted all theirs as well. Now, I'd like to know whether you could give some consideration to that, not raising it as a contest now.
Order. I appreciate the Right Honourable Gentleman's point, but I think that the House must accept, though, that there is a fundamental principle in this House that a member's word is accepted, and where whips vote a certain number of votes, the House must accept that, or the whole basis of the operation of the House starts to fall to bits. The Right Honourable Gentleman, has been around this place as long as I have, and remember under previous rules the way things used to work when members did used to have to cast their own votes, and how often when the House was sitting in urgency, the attendance of members would often be tested fairly early in the morning to make sure all members were here. But the rules are different now, and we must accept the word of members, and the vote being cast by party whips, or the whole operation of this House is brought into question, and that would be unacceptable. And so I think the Speaker's ruling is very clear on the matter, and I don't wish to take the matter any further now.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, and it's been pointed out to me in making my point of order, I almost certainly reflected badly on the National Party whips. I did not at all intend to do that. I believe that they've always acted with integrity.
I thank the honourable gentleman, Michael Woodhouse.
Mr Speaker, I don't want to prolong the points of order, but I do think, given the comment you did make about innuendo, and for the future order of the House, it's worth pointing out that the reasons that the National Party did not vote its full complement on the Gambling Harm Reduction Bill had nothing to do with the absence of members from the precinct.
And at that point, I think we should leave this matter because it is not helpful to the proceedings of the House today. The House does now come to questions for oral answer, and the first question stands in the name of the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Mr. Speaker.